This is Reality Dispatch, written by Jim Mintz.
The alpha would go for your face first, feast on it for a while until he had his fill. Then when he was done, he'd let the others join, always in a pack of 5 or more. The savages, they took over the place. Dogs, all of them. Once domesticated, now a global menace, a pest that won't die out. There are too many of us to go around. Something happened a year ago. I think it started in Sweden or maybe Denmark. They said one changed, then they all changed. Like a zombie virus, it spread throughout the canine world. Now all they cared about was hunting us to extinction. Mindless. Nothing else would satisfy them. Anyway, that's a brief history. I haven't got time to explore that right now with you. I came back to the town of Stunkley with Damir and Sergey. Damir had spent some of his childhood here and knew where the abandoned gas station was. We needed supplies. We had an underground bunker with room for 5, housing 15 of us. It had been a month. We took turns coming out for air, but the mutts were smelling our scent, and we would always hear the pitter-patter of paws on the asphalt above. It was getting risky. After this mission, we'd be able to feed the bulk of us for a week. Then we would have to have a serious talk about where to from here, because the bunker was safe, but unsustainable. We got used to walking in silence, but we could never mask our smell. That's why we always assumed we were being hunted, no matter where we were. Damir thought he saw the shadow of a labradoodle. He flinched, turned his head to the left, and was satisfied it was nothing. We had reached the outskirts of town, so every corner was a potential threat. "It's quiet," I assured him. "We're fine." He shook his head. His mouth would not close, but he kept walking. Eventually, he maneuvered past us and led the charge. We had sharpened kitchen knives, relics from our old lives, with us at all times. For some reason, he was lucky enough to have 2, probably why he elected himself leader. It was a fatal mistake, a false turn around the wrong corner. It was the right location for the gas station, but it hid the unmistakable stench of a large Rottweiler. Its eyes narrowed, its teeth bared, its snout open. It did not bark, did not warn us. It lunged for Sergey and Damir, and I ran. We had to. We had no choice. There was a house boarded up with a small crack that could fit an arm. Damir ran for it and plunged his fist into the hole, reaching around for a lock on the other side of the front door. I kept lookout. The herd was emerging from all corners. There weren't 5 of them as expected. There were hundreds. None of them barked. Dogs didn't bark anymore. They just ran, straight for us. Tongues wagging, teeth bared. "Hurry, Damir!" I yelled. He found the lock and lifted the hinge. The door swung open, and we raced inside, pounding it closed behind us. The scuffling of 1,000 paws scratching the outside of the door drowned out any sounds of other occupants. "You think we're alone in here?" I yelled. "Yeah, any mutt in here would be part of a pack," he replied. They started to bark. They did this when they were frustrated, which was rare. They usually always secured a meal. "Windows!" Damir yelled suddenly. We broke off into the 2 wings of the house. He went left. I took right. It wouldn't take long for the mutts to break their way in. I checked the bedrooms off the hall. A 2-bedder just off the entrance. Window was boarded up with wood planks. I walked over to the master bedroom. Again, windows were boarded. Whoever had laid low here had the place secured. "Raymond!" I heard Damir yell a blood-curdling yell. I ran down the hall to see his shadow struggle in the bathroom. I stopped running. I edged closer, 1 step at a time. Something was attached to his neck. It had caught a main artery. There was blood pooling up on the floor, squirting along the walls. Damir pulled back from the struggle into the doorway and saw me. With his last gasp of breath, lowering himself to the bathroom floor to breathe his final breath, he slammed the door shut to seal himself and the infected chihuahua attached to his neck inside. The dog was done. I could tell because the scratching of the door began immediately. It was not satisfied with its kill. It wanted me dead too. Only then would it feast. "You little bastard," I said under my breath. Then it howled its little howl, and the hundreds that stood outside, egged on by the smell of the blood from my brother, began howling too. The velocity of the sound caused me to hold my palms to my ears. They wanted in. They wanted me dead. They would make their moves soon. This house couldn't withhold them. Whoever was here before me knew that. That's why they fled. Pressing my hands to my ears, I didn't feel the pinch at my ankle. I leaped out of the way. One of them was inside the house in the hallway. It had nabbed me. I was a dead man. I looked where the evil bastard was as I prepared to run to the back bedroom. A young girl, 14, 15. She had emerged from the floorboards where the carpet had draped over. A trapdoor. "Come, it's safe," she said, moving her hand for me to join her. Another bunker. How long would I be down there? How many others were there? How long would we be stuck in this nightmare? I had no choice. The front door began pounding as the canines amassed themselves into a battering ram. It was only a matter of time. A man emerged from the manhole, shotgun ready, pointing it right at my chest. "Make your mind up now, or we make it up for you," he said. I ran towards them, accepting my fate. Another prisoner inside another bunker, escaping the domesticated evil that now haunts the earth. The last bunker I lived in was for a month. How long would this experience last? Until the next expedition where, no doubt, one of us would inevitably get mauled. They led me down the stairs and I heard the heavy bang of the enforced trapdoor slam shut, securing us inside. I followed the man and this young girl to the others. I presumed there were others. There were always others.
For more stories of fact-based fiction, head to jimmins.substack.com.